the thing with AA that struck me while reading the book was that, you go to AA, you have an alcohol problem, you go to AA, you're now sober, not drinking, but you're still thinking about alcohol. It's like alcohol
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
still a central part of your life,
It's
it's
like,
like,
don't think about a white elephant kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, it's just interesting for the people that it does work. And I wonder how, you know, can it be said to be working if that person is stressful in their life still because of that substance? I was a big alcoholic before, but now I go to AA and I don't drink anymore. But now every time I see a beer, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to drink that because I don't want to have to go to my AA meeting and feel ashamed, and I don't want to have to, relive my problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That gets into why Stanton Peele and I got along so well, is that when I talk to educators about what it means to teach a kid, it's not like there is rote learning involved. I'm not going to say that there's not. You want to know math, you want to know basic subjects, but at the end of the day, a good educational philosophy is, how can I prepare this child to be in this world, to deal with life as it happens to them, or be a participant in life. In the same way, an adult, going to AA meetings, first of all, you're not going to get me to say that people shouldn't go to AA,
Right.
or people never should. In fact, I know I'm friends with a lot of people. One person is a man named Dr. Rick Barnett. And I remember watching, you and I are met in the Unity movement, which I don't know how much you've talked about on your podcast, but I saw Eric Weinstein one time talking about having an intellectual arch nemesis. And this guy, Rick Barnett, he's a psychologist here in Burlington, and a lot of people know him. He is staunch into 12 steps, and he and I disagree so fundamentally. We could have conversations like you and I are having right now. We can get into depth about all the things we agree with, the fundamental building blocks of life, what's true, what's not. And we love the way that the other person thinks. We're like intellectual sparring partners. We have really great time. We could do tradings together. We have a complete disagreement fundamentally about the why AA is good or why it's not good, or why it's beneficial or why it's not. So I know a lot of people who, get use out of it. And I know a lot of people who are even clinicians, psychologists who they know enough to not recommend one thing or another if it's not going to work for a person. But they wouldn't, if someone said, well, I'm in 12 steps and I think it's saving my life, it's not like he would say, are you sure? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas because of my bias, if I was my own supervisor and I asked supervisor me, should I question this person about AA? Supervisor me would say, definitely not. Let things play out. I mean, if you're going to ask them about it, just ask how they see benefit in it. But, I have my own leanings, and, I might have that disposition to push back on somebody there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think that if someone is stuck in if someone relies on AA as their only source of betterment or gratification or feeling of connection, and they don't have other sources, then I think they might be selling themselves short. And that's not exclusive to AA. I think that's true for anything that somebody comes to over rely on.
Yeah. So basically it's like, if AA is making your life better, cool. Good for you.
Better is better.
Yeah. Better is better. Yeah. Cause I can think of a couple friends. Well, one friend in particular, I wonder if this person is listening or not, shout out. But who has gotten a lot of benefit from AA. And I would never tell this person to stop doing that, even though, like you, I may disagree with some of the things they're doing. But this person has come so far since starting with that. So it's like,
I would never tell them not to either. At the most, I might wonder what this person's getting out of AA and whether they think that they couldn't get it through other channels of life. And I might ask them about it, like in a genuinely curious way. That's the difference between, like, you're working with a human being to make the choices that they want in their life. You can't be judgmental about them. But if I'm tasked, which I was by a publisher, to write a book about what's a good philosophy for kicking addiction, in that general, in that broad sense, I'm talking about AA in a way that I'm sure your friend's not going to like. but I'm not excluding AA from the list of possibilities for living a better life, for sure.
Yeah. The argument is essentially there should be more options. We shouldn't look at
Sure.
AA as the end all be all, right?
Right. Absolutely. Well said.